joining us on another episode of What to Watch. I'm Savannah Jones.
And I'm Rex Shrevita. Today we have Christian Navarro joining us. He's most known for his role of Tony Padilla in the Netflix series 13 Reasons Why, but today he's here to talk about his role in Pray for the Devil, a horror film, which hits theaters this week. Just to start off, tell us about your character, Father Dante, in this movie.
Sure. Well, Father Dante, he exists in two worlds, really. He comes from gang culture, very much in that world of that life. And the reason he turns to the priesthood is because his sister is very ill and he believes her to be possessed. And he is seeking at all costs a remedy for that. And so he really turns his life around in an attempt to try and fix this. And it was a lovely thing to play, that sort of duality between that world and the world he's now in.
Awesome. So exorcism and possession really have been popular ever since The Exorcist debuted in 1973. So this is just decades of these type of movies. You recently said on Instagram that Pray for the Devil redefines the Exorcist trope. How does it set itself apart from similar movies?
Well, simply, Jacqueline Byers, our fantastic lead actress. You know, the film centers around, its premise is the first female exorcist, and that alone sets it apart from the genre. Very realistically, the priesthood, Catholicism, has traditionally been a male-oriented field, as so many are, and a female exorcists are not common at all. It's still a rarity in this day and age to have a woman lead her own film and do all of those things. So I think it reintroduces the genre to a whole new demographic, I think, and the way that she's able to combat the forces of evil in this film, to combat the antagonists in this film, is fundamentally different because she's a woman. There's a different kind of strength. There's a different kind of approach. And in our film, it's that approach that really helps her save the day, right? So I think that when people sit and watch this movie, they will get something different from, let's say, The Exorcist or some of these other films that have released in the past. It has been decades, yeah.
How do you prepare for a role like that for Father Dante?
Sure. I went to Catholic school my whole life, and I went to Jesuit high school. I myself am not very religious, perhaps as a result of that. But for this role, really, it was important for me to play against the trope. This was sort of my first foray into film since 13 Reasons Why. I had taken some time off, and this was the first movie I did after that ended. And so I watched everything I could in terms of material that existed, right? All of the films that were out there, Conjuring, all of the sort of horror, spooky season, thriller releases. I wanted to make sure that what I brought to my role was different from what people had seen before. That notwithstanding, our director, Daniel Stamm, he was really, really helpful in providing us with source materials and recordings of real exorcisms, things like that are really hard to find, that we were able to dig up and watch and take to heart. And here's a fun anecdote. Jacqueline and I, we filmed this movie in Bulgaria right as the world closed down, right? The country, our country, America, had shut down pretty much, and we shipped out to Bulgaria to film this movie. And she and I, at the director's request, we both walked around, me in my priest garb and her in her nun garb, and really lived in that world for a little bit. Now, it was a little easier for her because I would walk around and I would see people and I could tell that they recognized me from 13 Reasons Why and wanted to approach, but also couldn't figure out why the hell I was wearing, the collar and the outfit. So it was a really good experience, and really, if nothing else, this is just a small bit of it, but it was 90 something degrees, and I'm wearing this collar and all black. And I remember having this thought of, I'm electing to do this for work, but these people do this every day, and that sort of restrictive wear and what it means. I mean, it all informed the character and it informs that life, I think. So it was really helpful. All of that went into preparation.
Yeah, so you're talking about how you really just immersed yourself into this role. So with this being a horror film, are there any ever moments, some moments where you actually kind of got scared or freaked out?
No, not me personally. I think it happened on set for other actors and for crew members. I think that there's a bit of mythos that goes into it as you start working on something like this. You hear the stories of other horror films and things that have gone wrong. So that was in the back of my head. But honestly, the scariest thing that happened whilst filming was I do my own stunts, and we had a stunt. You'll see it in the film where I'm sort of knocked back 10, 15 feet into a wall. We did that stunt. I knocked myself out. I hit the wall, knocked out, and they kept rolling. And so what you see in the film is real. Me coming to and waking up and all of that is it's real. And that was the scariest moment for me. I thought I was going to die. I was like, we're not doing this again, you know. But they got it the first take, which was really great for me and great for the movie.
So, being the subject matter of exorcisms, we wanted to know, do you believe in any of these, like, exorcism tropes or demons, or do you have any superstitions yourself?
Well, I think actors by trade are generally superstitious, by and large. I think growing up personally, my mother experienced a lot of supernatural activity, and those are stories that were handed down to me, not by her at first, actually, by her brothers and my grandmother, and she confirmed them. I never experienced anything like it. But I know enough, and I have enough sense to know that sort of thing, I think it's a door that you can open or leave closed. I respectfully leave it closed, knowing that there may be something on the other side, but I want nothing to do with it, you know. So I will never discount anyone else's experience. And I believe that there may be something metaphysical. I think the universe is very grand, and we don't know all of it, so it's entirely possible. I like to live my life with that door shut, though.
Yeah.
So with all the horror films that have come out this season, there's been some pretty big ones. And we already asked you, how does it set aside from the exorcism trope? But you've also said, either in an interview or on Instagram, that this is definitely one of the scariest or the most spooky of the season. So what do you think about this film is really going to draw people in to be truly scared?
Well, first, let me reiterate that I in anticipation of this movie coming out, I've sat through all of the Halloween drops, right? I wanted to know what was coming out and what we would be facing in terms of competition, although loose competition, we're not really head at head with anybody. But I think there were some great drops this year. I think Barbarian was great. I think there's some really good scary movies out there. I think ours is a traditional scary Halloween film. It has all of those elements of the supernatural, of the demonic, of the possessed, all of these things that people historically tend to show up for these Halloween movies. What you want out of a Halloween movie when you go with your friends or your girlfriend or your boyfriend and you want to be scared. And I think we deliver. The film premiered last week at the Toronto Horror Film Festival. And I wasn't able to attend. Jackie was there with Daniel, our director, and I was monitoring sort of the input coming out on Twitter and things. And people are really loving it. They're enjoying the scares. You know, it's not too many jump scares. It's a really thrilling story with really strong acting from Jackie and Colin. I think what sets it apart is we do justice to the trope, to the genre, but we also break new ground. And I think people are going to leave the theater wanting to watch it again, which is something I wasn't expecting. People saying, I'm going to go back and wanting to see what happens next with Sister Anne. So I'm excited and hopeful for the turnout.
Awesome. So before we wrap everything up, is there anything else that you want to say about the movie or anything else that you would like to promote?
No, this is not for that. No promotion. I will say this. I think in 2022, this is just something we all may have to deal with moving forward. But there's a certain contingency of people who are sort of adverse to this film because it's a female lead, it's a woman lead. And some of the feedback on Twitter from even the preview, having never seen the movie, claims that this film is sort of degrading towards men. I 100% dismiss that entirely. As a man, I wouldn't work on anything that was degrading towards anyone, right? I mean, I think sometimes in storytelling on film and TV, there are unfortunate circumstances you got to tell, but this movie is not degrading. It is empowering for women. And I think if you're a man and you feel that a woman being empowered takes away from your masculinity, you're not much of a man, and don't go see our movie. But I think that by and large, the majority of folks in this country and all over the world understand that empowering a woman, empowering anyone else, doesn't take away from your light. You can still shine. So I encourage everyone to go check it out. And I think everyone will feel good about themselves after they leave the movie, having seen what we've done.
Yeah, it definitely looks like a different perspective than other Exorcist movies that, you know, have come out in the past. So it's very exciting to see that, especially with the female lead, as you said.
Right. And since that topic and trope is so overdone, I think if you're going to switch up anything, it should be something like that. It's pretty important to have a female at the front.
Yeah, I agree. I have three sisters, all younger than me, and I've been very fortunate in the projects that I've worked on that, by luck or circumstance, they've all had empowering women in the leads. You know, I've worked with Melissa McCarthy, Catherine Langford, Kate Walsh, just incredible women and actresses in their own right. And if I continue to do that for the rest of my career, I'll consider myself lucky, and I know that my sisters will have examples to look up to. So I feel really good about it.
Thank you for listening to KRLD's What to Watch.
Pray for the Devil premieres in theaters this Friday.
New episodes of What to Watch are available every Thursday.